are the margins there? So what we're going to do is, again, does it sell well? Can I compete? We already looked at all that. Are the margins there? So the next thing we're going to do is let's go over to Alibaba and let's actually see, let's find some preliminary pricing. And then we're going to take that preliminary pricing and we're just going to put that into the product sourcing calculator, and we're going to get a preliminary net margin as well. Like I said, by no means would you want to just choose a product by finding pricing on Alibaba and then seeing if the net margin meets the 30 to 50%. We have a whole strategy and process and criteria checklist that you have to go through before you make that final decision. But again, guys, this is just a way to build a list of products and then take that list of products and run them through our 10-point checklist, which actually the next webinar that we do is going to be all around deep diving into, using that 10-point checklist and finding a viable product.
Hey, it's Mike here, and we just launched version 7 of our Amazon training course, where we walk you through the process of how we sold just in the last 30 days, our first 30 days, over 1,000 products with the brand new ranking strategies that we're now showing to the public. We've trained over 1,000 students, and last year alone we did over $3.2 million online. And if you go to my site, put your credit card away, enter just your first name and your email address, I'll immediately send you a series of free training videos that walk you through the process.
So again, let's go over to Alibaba. And guys, again, just to recap, you can see that this product sells well. I mean, 1,300 units a month, $38,000 monthly revenue. It definitely sells well. So let's go dig deeper into it. So let me look at some keywords here. I want to see what I'm going to use over on Alibaba. So I'm going to take portable blood pressure monitor over there. So let me copy that and let's go over there and let's find one. So right here, when you come over to Alibaba, I've already got it up. You'll want to search right here in the products box, and you'll just paste that right in there, portable blood pressure monitor, and let's hit search. And I still can't believe how fast the computer is tonight. This is amazing. Usually we're clocking all over the place, so this is good. Okay, so there's a ton of them here, right? So one thing that I do want to mention, this is what I always do when I'm looking for products on Alibaba, and this is one of the first things you should do. Once you search for the product, you'll see here, supplier types. You see that? Choose trade assurance and verified supplier. Both of these options basically protect you from doing business with any shady suppliers or shady manufacturers. Trade assurance actually protects your money and your inventory if you purchase from a manufacturer. And then a verified supplier means that the supplier or manufacturer had to meet certain internal criteria by Alibaba to become a verified supplier, which in my mind just means they're a more reputable and better manufacturer on Alibaba here. I wouldn't ever do business with a manufacturer that couldn't meet the trade assurance or verified supplier criteria, because personally, I only want to do business with, top level manufacturers. So that's exactly why I do that. And not to mention, it just minimizes some of the risk, right? You don't want to get involved with a manufacturer that could cheat you in some way. And this will help eliminate that, right? Because you don't have relationships with these people. You have no idea who they are, what business practices they have. But we do have an option for you for that. We have a team in China that can help you source products. But again, we're going to get into that in a later webinar. Again, this is just more preliminary pricing. So let's take a look. Let's jump back here. I just want to take one more look at what this looks like. And we can actually go to the detail page. If you click on the picture, it'll take you right to the Amazon.com detail page. So let's go there and take a look at it. Let's see if we can find something similar. Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty. Oh, I didn't realize it was that small. I'm glad I looked at that picture. Okay, cool. So let's go look. So it's something that goes around the wrist like that. I mean, this could possibly be something like that too here. I'll just look through the first couple of pages of Alibaba here. We'll definitely be able to find some. Oh, there we go. There's something that's very, very similar. That one's white, and that one's black, but that looks really similar to this. These two right here. All right, so let's look at one of the other things I like to look at when I start looking at manufacturers here in Alibaba. See this right here, their response rate. So read what that says there. Response rate: 73.2% of buyers who contacted this supplier received the response within 24 hours. I try to find manufacturers that have a higher response rate. It'll just save you time, right? Because you'll notice when you contact manufacturers on Alibaba, half of them are going to get back to you and half of them aren't. That's just the game that you have to play. But the ones with a higher response rate, I've found that they get back to you. They definitely get back to you. Not to mention they get back to you quicker. Like they'll actually get back to you within that 24-hour period. So let's just take a little look here and see if. And actually, before I do that, I just thought about something. You can actually filter by response rate. See how I did that? And it'll bring the highest response rate to the top. So now let's take a look and see if we can find one. This one looks pretty similar. That might be the exact same one, actually. Let's see here. So what I'm really looking for is a high response rate, and then I'm just looking for a price point that I can use. So I'm just going to scroll through here and see if I can get a good idea of a price point. Let me click into this one. This one looks really, really similar to that one. And see, they have different angles of the pictures here, so you can really look. I think this one might be it. I mean, let's go back and take another look at Black Box. I mean, that's so similar. Let's see here. Yeah, so this could be an option here for sure. So again, one thing too that I want to mention: never ever ever base your margin calculation off the price that you see here. You always want to reach out to the manufacturer and get a proper price quote for whatever you're looking at. And I'm going to show you that here in a second. We actually have a template that we use for that. But right now, I really just want to look and get a feel for the pricing. We're looking at somewhere for 1,000 units. We're probably looking at somewhere around $6 or $7 roughly is what I'm seeing as of right now for what we're going to want. And I think we can feel pretty confident in that. But again, we would never use that in a final net margin calculation until we actually asked the manufacturer for a proper quote. So I can show you guys what I need to show you on the product sourcing calculator, because I feel pretty confident somewhere around the $6 or $7 range would get us what we need based on what I just saw here. I mean, here's another one that's really similar. And look, that's only for 10 units, somewhere between $1 and $8. So if you're doing 1,000 units, you're roughly, $5 to $7 range, somewhere around there. So I'll just put $6 into the product sourcing calculator. And again, here we go again here. Okay, so let me show you. So we have a template that we made up to reach out to manufacturers. Before I show you that though, if you're asking yourself where you get the template, so you would go over to our Online Secrets membership area. As soon as you log in, you would come down here to download the resources below. And here it is right here, manufacturer outreach letter. So you would just click on this, you would download it, you would save it. And once you do that, let me show you what it looks like. So this is exactly what it looks like here. So you would basically just take this, copy it, and we're going to take this over to Alibaba now. So you would copy it right from there. And let's go over to Alibaba. And let's say we wanted to get a quote from this manufacturer. We would click on Contact Supplier. It's going to take us here. And we would literally just copy and paste our template right into here. So you definitely have to change it a little bit because we have some places where you put your own information in. So, hey, my name is Mike, and I'm a retailer here in the United States. I'm looking to source and that's where we would put um, portable blood pressure monitor, right? Okay. We'd like to know a few things. You will always want to. So these are the 3 points you always want to ask. What is your MOQ for the product? And for those of you that don't know what MOQ is, minimum order quantity. What is your minimum order quantity for this product? And what are the prices for the minimum order quantity? 500 units and 1,000 units. I like to get all of those prices so I have them, right? So I know exactly how much of basically a discount I'm going to get from the minimum order quantity to 500 to 1,000. And then you always want to ask for a shipping quote along with it as well. And you always want to ask for what's called a delivered duty paid shipping quote, DDP. And this is exactly how you say it, right? What are the delivered duty paid shipping costs for the MOQ, 500 and 1,000 units? And the reason why we want a DDP shipping quote is because a DDP shipping quote, it encompasses what's called a door-to-door shipment. So from your manufacturer's door to Amazon's door. And it includes the US customs duties and fees. If you don't ask for a DDP quote, you'll get like an EXW quote, for example, and the EXW quote will only that quote itself is only from the manufacturer's door to the ship that it goes on. That's all that fee would be. So you can imagine if you got like an EXW quote and you didn't get a DDP quote and you thought the EXW quote covered door to door, you would get hit with additional charges on the back end. And that's not what we want, believe me. We've learned from experience that you need to ask for the DDP quote. That way there's no hidden charges, nothing's going to pop up on the back end, and you're not going to get a bill, later on down the road from your freight forwarder for, another big chunk of money. So make sure you get that DDP quote. One other point I want to make is for quoting purposes, you always want to give the manufacturer or the freight forwarder, whoever you're getting a shipping quote from, give them the Port of Los Angeles as the ship to. So it would be from your manufacturer's door to the Port of Los Angeles. If you're doing an air shipment, it would be from your manufacturer's door to LAX in Los Angeles, right? Los Angeles International Airport. The reason we do that is because the transit time from China to LA is one of the shortest transit times. So you'll see whenever the transit time's shorter, you save money. But most importantly is there's large Amazon warehouse hubs all around LA. There's one in Moreno Valley, California that it usually gets sent to. But we go into that in much greater detail when we go through the FBA inbound shipment process. I just wanted to explain that a little bit here. If you have any questions around that, just Voxer us. And then I always like to talk about, what is your lead time to produce this sort of product? That's super important as well, right? Especially if you're going to build a relationship with this manufacturer. If it takes them 3 months to manufacture 1,000 units, you may not want to do business with them, right? You can't wait that long. So that's how we find out how long the manufacturing process is actually going to take. And then you would just come down here. You would put your name in here again. So let me put Mike in here again. And then you would put your email address in here. So put my email address, Mike C at onlinesecrets.com. Let me make sure I spelled that right. Mike C at onlinesecrets.com. Yep. And then all you do at this point is you hit send inquiry now. And there you go. I just sent that inquiry to that manufacturer, and you would do that over and over and over again. Like you would go choose another manufacturer, right? you do the exact same thing. And I'm not going to do it again, but I'll just show you. So you click on here again, contact supplier. As soon as this page pops up, paste in the template. Boom. Fill in your information, put your email address, hit send inquiry now. And you honestly have to do this at least 10 or 15 times to get 3 or 4 quotes back that even make sense. So just a heads up, don't get discouraged if you send 15 of these quotes out and you only get 3 or 4 back. That's pretty typical, to be honest. And there's going to be a lot of back and forth too. You're going to send out the quote, you're going to send out the quote request, you're going to get a quote back. Some of your questions aren't going to be answered. You're going to have to ask them again. But if it becomes a difficult process with the manufacturer on Alibaba, I would just stop dealing with them and move on, right? Because you don't have time for that. The manufacturers that are good on here will answer every single one of your questions. They'll get you all the information that you need, and they'll do it in a timely manner. And you will find manufacturers and suppliers on here that will treat you that way. But I can tell you from using Alibaba for many, many years, there are also a ton of suppliers and manufacturers on here that just don't care. And they won't answer your questions properly, and they won't get you the information you need. If you start feeling like that's happening, drop them and move on, because there's thousands upon thousands of manufacturers on here. So that's exactly how you do that, to find, preliminary pricing. Once you get your quotes back and once you feel confident that you've got at least 2 or 3 solid quotes for the product you're interested in, the next thing you'll want to do is you'll go put some preliminary numbers into the product sourcing calculator. But actually, before I do that, let's go back to the presentation.
Hey, it's Mike here, and we just launched version 7 of our Amazon training course, where we walk you through the process of how we sold just in the last 30 days, our first 30 days, over 1,000 products with the brand new ranking strategies that we're now showing to the public. We've trained over 1,000 students, and last year alone we did over $3.2 million online. And if you go to my site, put your credit card away, enter just your first name and your email address, I'll immediately send you a series of free training videos that walk you through the process.
And let me maximize the screen here. Hold on a minute. All right, so we just looked on how to get the preliminary pricing. Are the margins there? We're gonna go look at that right now. So yeah, let's go over there right now and take a look at that real quick. So let me escape out of there, and let's go back to, actually, again, before I go there, let me show everyone where the product sourcing calculator is. So again, you'd go back over the Online Secrets membership area. You would come down here to download the resources below, and the product sourcing calculator is right here. See where it says New Product Sourcing Calculator. You'd click on this, you download and save it, and then once you do that, this is what pops up right here. So this is our product sourcing calculator. And as you can see here, the tool that you need to run this properly is AmazonRankBooster.com. And again, guys, see, these criteria are popping up again. Does the product sell well? Can you compete? Are the margins there? That's our mantra in the very beginning. That's what we always look for when these are the criteria we look for when we're looking for product. So just keep that in mind. So again, you would never ever want to choose to move forward with a product just by looking at the 30,000 foot view that we looked at. You would never choose a product based on just putting these preliminary numbers in here right now. I'm just showing you this as an example. You want to choose a product once you make sure that it's viable by going through our 10-point checklist, by looking at the keywords for the product. There's multiple different factors that we're going to teach you guys exactly how to find the best viable product to sell on Amazon. But there's got to be a starting point, right? This is a starting point. This is where it all starts. This is how we narrow our product list down from, our black box product list. We might have 15 or 20 products on that list. Well, this is how we start narrowing that product list down to 1 or 2 products, right? and then we choose the best out of the two, after we take it through our extensive process that we have. But for right now, like I said, this is where we start. So let's go back over to Amazon, and I want to look at this listing here. So again, I'm just going to I'm going to say we could sell ours for $29.99. Just again, this is an example, right? So let me go back over to the product sourcing calculator, because that's roughly what, they're selling this one for. So let me, hold on a second for me. Let's see here. All right, so let's say we could sell that product for $29.99. And again, it may be higher, it may be lower, but for this example and for looking at it, from a broad overview, we're just going to look at that seller that we found because they had really good numbers. But again, we have a whole strategy around figuring out your sale price as well that you're going to learn about in the next three modules, because again, this is module 1. Price per unit, remember I said roughly $6, so let's put $6 in there. Shipping cost per unit. Let me go look at that product again, hold on. This thing is pretty small and light. I'm gonna say it's going to be around $1 roughly to ship that product per unit, and it could be less than that. So let me go back over to product sourcing calculator. So I'm gonna put $1 in here, and again, you'll know for sure what these two are going to be because you're gonna get those quotes back from Alibaba, right? Or you're gonna use our team in China to get quotes from them, and then you're going to have accurate numbers to put in here, very, very accurate numbers in regards to, and then like Sam mentioned earlier, we definitely recommend bundling. And I found that portable blood pressure monitor, we would have to do additional research to see what would make sense to bundle with that portable blood pressure monitor. But once you do that, you would bring your total price per unit back here. So let's say you add 3 different products in your bundle, the portable blood pressure monitor and 2 other products. You would add all of those cost per units together, and that's what you would put here, right? And then there's a whole strategy around figuring out the best price point for a bundle. It would obviously be more than $29.99 if there were 3 additional products in there. So again, bundling is definitely recommended. It helps differentiate yourself from your competitors. It helps protect you from other sellers jumping on your listing. There's numerous benefits of bundling. So again, let me get back to this. Selling price, $29.99. Price per unit for now, $6. Shipping costs for now, $1. Ad spend. Usually we say roughly in the very beginning, somewhere between $1 and $2. So I'm just gonna go on the high side, do $2. The FBA fee, let me go back to that listing and see if I can see the FBA fee. Helium will usually give you the FBA fee right here, $7.63. All right, so let's take that and let's go back over to the sourcing calculator. So 763, so let's just say 765. Let's round up, 765, okay? And let's see what the margin looks like. So right now we're at a 44% margin. And again, this is a preliminary look at everything, but just based on what I've seen over the last 30 minutes of us doing the research and looking at the product, I'm happy with that. I'm happy to see that this margin came out to 44%. Obviously, we didn't plan any of this, right? I mean, we found that blood pressure monitor out of the blue, just like you would, right? And we followed the steps. So this is a good sign, right? Again, this is not, I would never base my decision on this right now and say, oh yes, I'm definitely going to go sell a blood pressure monitor because I got a 44% margin. No, this is just a good start to take it to the next step now. Now I know that I would want to take this product to the next step, right? And if for some reason I got my quotes back from Alibaba and these numbers here drastically changed, and this dropped to 5% margin, then I wouldn't move forward with it anymore. I'd go find another product and start over. But I don't think that's going to be the case from what I just looked at on Alibaba. I think the price is truly going to fall somewhere around that $5, $6, $7 range. And this could even be lower here as well. I mean, those blood pressure monitors looked super small and light. So guys, that's exactly how that works. And again, just keep this in mind. Does it sell well? Can you compete? Are the margins there? And that's exactly how you would find out the initial net margin. So let's go back to the presentation. All right, let me start this up here. Hold on a minute for me. We're gonna go here. All right, so again, we went over to Alibaba. We got the preliminary pricing. I showed you guys how to send suppliers and manufacturers a quote request through Alibaba. Are the margins there? Preliminarily, we saw that the margin's there. We were at a 44% margin, so that's good. I feel comfortable moving forward with that. Does the product preliminarily make sense? At this point, like I said, it does. It does make sense at this point. So I would take it to the next level. And actually, like I said, on our next webinar, we're going to be diving deeper into this product to see if it truly does make sense, to see if it meets the rest of our criteria markers that we have. Again, guys, we have all of these criteria in place to minimize your risk when you're finding a product and then selling a product on Amazon, right? And we've developed these criteria through many different mistakes that we've made, because we were looking for a way to minimize our risk with products that we sold on Amazon. This is coming from years and years of experience selling on Amazon. We've developed these different criteria because nobody wants to, put a product on Amazon and then have it fail, right? Nobody wants that. We don't want that. You don't want that. You have to follow a certain process. You have to follow a certain strategy, and you have to follow certain criteria, or you will have a product that fails on Amazon. You can't just go over to Amazon itself, look at a bestseller and say, oh wow, this product is selling like crazy, they're a bestseller, I'm gonna go source 1,000 of them and throw them up on Amazon and make $1 million. That doesn't happen. It just does not happen. This is by no means a get-rich-quick scheme at all, not even close. It takes work, it takes commitment, and it takes you following a process and doing your due diligence. And if you do that, you minimize your risk greatly. I can't overemphasize that. I mean, we unfortunately see people that aren't, a student with us in Online Secrets that just make mistakes that are very avoidable. I mean, Sam and I and Mike, we see it all the time. And, we wish we could help everybody, but, obviously that's not possible. But again, that's why we have all these criteria in place. So again, we reached out to suppliers for actual quotes. You guys saw me do that. We used the supplier template for pricing quotes on Alibaba. And then I spoke a little bit about the dedicated team in China.
I've really felt like since I've joined, this is one of the best decisions I've made in my life.
From August 2nd to September 2nd, I generated 15,000 in sales.
I did about 6K one day.
We set a goal of 300 sales in the first 2 weeks, and we met that in 8 days.
Our first 12, 13 days, we've averaged just over $1,000 per day in revenue.
Right now I've got 74 5-star reviews, bestseller ranks at 29, and I've sold in 45 days almost 500 units.
We are moving about 15 to 20 units per day right now.
We were #1 new release on Amazon within 24 hours.
The last 12 months would have been in July. I reached I guess 6 figures.
I've seen the result and I've been very impressed.
Today actually is ironic that we're making this video because we hit our biggest numbers sales organically.
We still made 150% on our investment.
By far, the level of accountability you guys bring and support to your team it's uncanny.
What you guys are teaching us changed my life.
Just mind-blowing and very helpful in helping us launch our products.
We were able to create an entire business from scratch with no knowledge before, really, of how to sell on Amazon.
It gave us basically a roadmap to get involved in e-commerce without having to reinvent a wheel.
If I didn't have this training to follow, I'm sure it would be very difficult for me to research everything and to come up with a process that would work.
The way Mike and Matt teach is really a foolproof method.
The quality and integrity of the program is amazing. The clarity of instruction and the detail of instruction is really easy to follow along.
I've been amazed with how robust and how much information they have in their program.
I get so much information from the training videos, and it's incredible.
Love the modules that I can listen to them again and again.
The steps that are laid out are very much succinct and something that you can follow.
It really is good to just consistently go over and over and over the same the basics in order to get your business up and running.
Everything that you've taught me so far has been useful. I've used a number of it both in this side business and also at my day job.
You guys been helping me out with the Voxer talks, the live training videos that you guys have been sending me.
Learning that this even exists, learning the process and how to be successful has really been great.
I like how the information can be applied to other businesses, other online ventures that you might want to do.
We love this business for the business model.
I'm just so excited to be selling online and making money in a way that I never thought I would.
I'm just excited to get this started.
If you want free time and you know how this passive income system can work, I think you'll see the same thing.
Ultimately, we're into the things that I love, and for me personally, that's my family.
I'm just grateful for you guys. I feel like you're super positive.
One of the things that you guys do is set the tone for giving everything you've got.
You go above and beyond.
They aim to over-deliver. They don't need to do as much as they do, but they do it anyway.
Mike and Matt are just regular people. Successful, but willing to share the knowledge and help us become successful too.